Hi there, it's Laura here from iHeart Planners, and I'm bringing you a really fun project today. Huge thanks to Cricut for sponsoring this video, and I'm going to be showing you how to make an amazing Christmas gift. And I know that one of the challenges when it comes to giving gifts is often finding the right thing that the person will really love, and a lot of times a lot of our ideas, they might already have those. So one way to ensure that you're giving them something really thoughtful and unique is to personalize it. And when it comes to personalizing, one of the best tools to help you do that are the Cricut machines. I have here the Maker that I used for this project, and the sky is really the limit. There are so many things that you can make. You can add initials or names to things. You can create personalized everything. But what I did today is I have created a recipe binder all put together that you can give someone, and if you wanted to, you could even put some of the family favorite recipes in there to give them a head start, and then they can add to it. And who wouldn't love this? Because it can corral all of those stray recipes that we've torn out of magazines, that we printed off the internet and things like that, and get them in one place, and you've already done most of the work for them. So I'm going to take you on a tutorial, but first I just want to show you what we've done here. So we personalized it by saying Smith Family Recipes, and we also personalized the spine here. And then as we open it up, we made these fun dividers, and I think they're really unique because instead of just putting a tab, we actually put the word of the category on the tab of the divider. And so we've done that, and then at the end we went ahead and put in these page protectors so the person can put in their recipe and then place the page protector in the category that it goes in. And of course you could personalize this as much as you want if you want different categories of recipes, if you know the person might use that. So let's go ahead and dive in. Here I am going to show you how I created the dividers in Cricut Design Space. Now I am going to give you what I have created so that if you just want to do that exact thing, you can just use my file. But this is for if you want to customize it or change it or use the same principles in another design. So to start, we're going to get a square shape here, and we're going to make the base of our divider just the regular rectangle page size. I'm going to click that lock to where the proportions won't constrain. It's 8.5 by 11 inches is the standard size sheet of paper. I'm going to go ahead and get it right in the corner there. And then, when I say in the corner, I mean aligned to the grid. And then we're going to do our circles, our hole punches next. Now you could use a regular hole punch, but this is going to save you time to go ahead and put it in the design. I'm going to grab a circle. I'm going to go ahead and drag it out of here. And then I like to make my circles 1/4 inch. There isn't really a standard though, so whatever you'd like. Then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this to make the next circle. Then I'm going to line this circle up, and you see how those crosshairs appear? So I'm going to line it up right in the middle of this grid, and that's going to allow me to space this next circle perfectly. So I'm going to space it 4.25 inches below the circle I just created, and that's standard spacing for hole punches. Then I'm going to show you another trick. I'm going to go ahead and right click and duplicate that. So we've got our third circle, and I'm going to show you another trick for spacing this 4.25 inches. It doesn't matter what way you use. This is just a trick I like to use for spacing. So I've got that square. I'm going to make it 4.25 inches. And then I'm going to line it up right in the middle of that circle there at the top. And then I know that I need to line this one up where the middle of this circle is right at the bottom of this square. And then I just delete the square. It was only for measurement purposes, so I just click the red X to delete it. Then I'm going to click and drag and then let go of the mouse button, so that selected all of those. Then I'm going to right click and say, whoops, I accidentally unselected it when I did that. Right click and say group. And so that means now they're all one group and they're going to stay the proper spacing apart. Next, I need to line them up and down properly. So this is going to, I'm just using my arrow key. It needs to be 1.25 inches below the top of the page. So I'm just using the grid here to guide me there. Next, I am going to need to put it in the proper depth, and that's about 0.3 inches. So I'm going to use my little square trick here, and I'm going to make a square that is a width of 0.3. And I'm just going to make it another color so that I can see it better. And then I'm going to put it right on the edge. Then we're going to grab these, and I'm just arrowing over using my arrow key to start with, and then I'm going to fine tune it just a little bit with my mouse. All right, so that's lined up pretty well. Then I'm just going to delete that, which was just that square, which was just a tool to help me line it up. So now I have the holes placed on the paper. Now, this is really important and something that took me a while to get the hang of. If I were to just go cut that right now, it wouldn't cut the circles right onto the paper. So the way that I need to do that is select everything, just click and drag. And then I'm going to say that I want to attach the circles. Now it's literally attached the circles and the square together to where it will cut properly. Now I know it looks the same when you just look at it, but there is a difference when you go to actually cut it. So that's an important step that you want to make sure you don't leave out. And if I move it, they are all together. Okay. Now, our next step in this process is to get our divider text. So I'm going to start with main dishes. Just click to the text. This is a Frightful Affair font that I am using here. Whoops, I meant to move the text. I'm not really worrying here about the size yet. We're going to do main dishes, desserts. Whoops, I keep moving the wrong thing. And whenever I do that and I move something or do something I don't want to do, I just press Command Z and that'll undo whatever I did. Now to edit that, I'm double clicking. I forgot the S, I think. Okay. The next one I'm going to do is drinks. Then we're going to do appetizers. And we are going to do sides. Okay. So obviously when you do this, you can customize it however you'd like. Now I already know that to put these on the side here, they're going to need to be quite a bit smaller. So I'm just going to go ahead and select them all. So I just clicked and dragged and then let go of my mouse, and that's selecting them all. Then I'm going to click this and just drag it in. So it's made it quite a bit smaller. I don't know if that's exactly the size that I need, but it's more in the ballpark. All right. So then with them all still selected, I'm going to go hover over this circular arrow. And then before I click it, I'm going to click Shift. Then I'm going to click and drag, and Shift makes sure that it is staying lined up as I flip it, so where it'll give me an exact 90 degrees. Then I let go of the mouse and I let go of Shift, and now we've got them all sideways. Next, I'm going to line them up. I'm not worrying about being perfectly lined up close to the page, but I'm just lining them up all up and down, and I'm going to try to get the size of the font exactly right, so where they fit perfectly. And again, this is not all going to be on the same divider, of course, but we're just going to make sure this just is allowing us to get them lined up. And I actually guessed pretty well there. If I hadn't, wow, I'm surprised. When I practiced this, I did not do that. But what you would do is, if you needed a different size, is you would select them all and you would keep resizing and repositioning until they lined up properly up and down. So I really like how they're lined up and down now. That's looking pretty good as a placement for the tabs. Then I'm going to select them all. I'm going to use this align tool. I love these align tools. I'm going to click align left. So now right here, they're all starting in the exact same place here. So I didn't have to worry about that when I was positioning. Then I'm going to arrow over, and I want them to overlap with this page just a tiny bit. Sometimes I'm not using my arrow. I'm going to actually use my mouse and get them. You want them to be like a good solid amount to where they're really going to attach well. So I think that's about where I like it. All right, so now I am going to take this particular, just the rectangle, and we're going to need to duplicate it several times. So I'm going to Command C, Command V. Okay, so we've got the 5 different dividers now, and I'm going to go ahead and grab these and just kind of move them off to the side just so you can see. Actually, I think I got an extra there. Okay, so I've simply changed these to be the same fill, material as the rectangle because they're being cut together. And then the next step is we need to weld these 2 things together so they become one thing. The first thing that we need to do, though, is go ahead and take this over here. You've got this group of circles that you have attached. We need to detach that just temporarily so that we can weld. If we don't do that step, what's going to happen is that the circles will actually blend right into the page and they won't cut. So we're just going to quickly detach. All right, so we still got that group of circles just sitting there. Then we're going to select our top tab, our main dishes, and then our rectangle together. And then we're going to click weld. That's going to bring those together. And you can see how those like black lines went away there. So that's cutting all one thing. Then I like, just so I can see it, I like to take this group of circles and move it to the top. Now I can see it. Now I need to select both the circles. You can see right here, they're both selected, they're both gray, and then I need to click attach. Now, this entire divider is perfect. So I'm just gonna move it off to the side here, and then I'm gonna select another one, and I know to place it right up there using the grid where I had the last one. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna detach. And then I'm going to select both the square and the word dessert, and I'm going to click weld. And then I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm going to make sure I've got that selected. And I'm going to take this group of circles, I'm going to move it to the top so I can just see them. And then I'm going to select the divider and click attach. And I just keep on doing that with each of them. And at that point, my dividers design is complete. Again, detach, and then click both of those, select them, weld it, and then I'm going to select it again, and then move the group just above it, and then select both and click attach. All right, so that one's done. So to add the words, I started with the longest word. I'm not sure if appetizers or main dish is longer. Let's see. They're about the same, aren't they? I guess main dishes is slightly longer. So I'm going to size it to where it's fitting this word main dishes. Now we're not actually going to attach it and cut it out of that. I'm just making sure that we're sizing it appropriately. And then you can see that I have made this 97, so I could go change each of these to be the same size, 97. Okay, and then from here, what I personally did when I cut these is I cut my word out of the same piece of paper that I was cutting the, just moving those out of the way, the same piece of paper that I was cutting the divider. And I had double-sided paper that coordinated, so I wanted the word that was going on it. For example, appetizers would go on this one. I wanted the word that was going on the divider to be on the same paper, but obviously not the same side of the paper. If I had done that, it wouldn't show up. It would be the same thing. I wanted it on the opposite side of the paper, but cutting it only once. So what I did was I flipped it. So flip horizontal. Perfect. Now that is mirrored. And I can cut it out like that and still be using the same sheet of paper. And I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like when I go to cut, just so you have an idea. So let's say I just have two, like main dishes. I'm going to go ahead and just have those two. I'm going to go ahead and flip this, flip horizontal. Okay. And then when I go to make it, you'll see that I can go ahead and I'm going to click these three dots and I'm going to move object and I'm going to move it to the first mat. Then I'm going to take the word main dishes on this mat and I'm going to rotate it. Whoops, it's kind of hard to grab it. There we go. And so now that's all within the cutting area and I'm cutting it only on one page, but this way I can use the opposite side of the double-sided paper and stick this right on here. And then you can do the same for the next one. Move it. And then I'm going to move that and then just position it right there. And it fits perfectly and you only have to cut once. For my dividers here, I'm using Cricut Deluxe paper. And this is really fun designs on both sides. One of them is more solid on each one and one of them is more patterned. So that's going to allow me to cut out the dividers and then also the letters that I'm going to use as titles on those dividers that you'll be seeing soon. And then I'm just placing the paper onto the mat and I paid attention to what direction I wanted my stripes to be going, and then I will place that into the machine, click the load button on the machine, and then I just press the little flashing Cricut button so that it will go ahead and cut my design, and then we'll go ahead and speed this up. So now it's cutting my design, and this is my favorite part of any project when I just get to watch the machine go and it cuts like magic, exactly what I tell it to. And then you'll see that I remove the design and I'm taking off the backing, and then we get the divider and you'll see that on the side there it has the word dessert. So instead of a tab, it's got actual letters. And then I am taking off each letter. Now I mirrored those so that the contrasting pattern would show up, so I could use the other side of them so that they would actually show up. And then you'll see I'm using the Xyron, which is a sticker maker, the 1.5 inch, and I'm just placing each letter in there and dragging it through, and it literally just turns anything into a sticker, which is really cool. Tear it off, take off the backing, and then I'm placing each letter onto the divider. And I do that with each of the dividers. I made 5 here, but you could, choose different amounts. All right, so to assemble this, I have the dividers that I made. This is just a standard 1.5 inch 3-ring binder. We'll decorate the front and the spine in a minute. And then I have page protectors that people could put their recipes in. Most of the time I print stuff off the internet on regular size sheets of paper. There are page protectors that have places for 4x6 cards if people have more traditional recipe cards. And then I'll just go ahead and show you what these look like all next to each other. I think it looks really cool when you can see what these are right here. And then they each have the words right here as well. So we're just going to go ahead and open up our 3-ring binder. We will place our tab dividers here, and notice that I went ahead and have the design cut the holes into these dividers, so there's just no need to have another step of punching them. And then we'll go ahead and put in some page protectors. I like to put them all in at the end, and then as the recipient is making their recipe binder, they can place them wherever they'd like. Between the dividers is kind of how I generally do it. And I just love that it's so easy. And when you give them these page protectors and everything, all they do is stick the recipe in there and it is all ready to go. Now I'm going to be cutting out the cover and the spine. So I just measured my notebook and I'm just cutting a very simple rectangle shape in that particular size. And you could definitely do this with a paper trimmer, but it's more precise to do with the Cricut, and especially if you're doing several of them, it'll save you time. So that's going to be our cover, and then this is just cutting that little rectangle for the spine. You can see there. So make sure that you get a 3-ring binder that lets you insert a cover and a spine, which many do. And then I'm taking the word Smith Family Recipes and I'm putting it through the 1.5-inch Xyron machine to turn those into stickers. And then I'm going to place those on the cover. I chose to place them in the very bottom left and line them up on the left. You can place it right in the middle, on the top. I just thought that was a fun modern look, and it's actually a little bit easier to line up that way than it could be some other ways. And of course you can make this any color, say anything you want. And then I just put that into the front of the binder where the cover goes, and I just think that really personalizes it and makes it look fun. And then I'm putting the spine in, and as I'm doing that, Tasha mentioned that it would be way easier if I opened the binder. So that's a little tip for you. You'll see here that I open the binder and it just slides right in. So always put that spine in with the binder open. So here we have personalized Smith Family Recipes. We also personalized the spine. And then as you open it, it looks really cool that you see all of the different categories. And then page protectors for the different recipes. So I hope this has helped give you an idea of how you can create a personalized recipe binder for a gift. Now, if you want more ideas and inspiration, be sure to stick around. We have new videos often coming your way. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and be sure to check out the Cricut Maker if you don't already have one.